It's Jake Asman. This is the Jake Asman Show for a Wednesday, September 22nd, 2021. First things first, thanks so much for watching this channel. Today's video, we're going to talk about the Jets' offensive game plan when they go into Denver on Sunday and try and get their first win of the season, what they need to do to basically allow Zach Wilson to bounce back after what I think is probably the worst performance of his life at any level of football. He never had a game like that at BYU, and I doubt a kid as good as Zach, as I'm sure he was in high school, ever had a game like that there as well. So we will talk about Zach Wilson a lot in this video, the game plan, the approach offensively, all that for the Jets. As, look, they're a significant underdog going into this game on Sunday. There's no doubt about that. But this is still a game that if the Jets execute the right offensive game plan, I think they got a real shot. I think Denver right now is about a 10.5-point favorite. Sounds about right if you just look at how the Jets played last week, but there's more to it. We'll talk about that coming up. But first, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe right down below. I produce daily Jets video content, post other clips from my radio show on ESPN Houston and my Saturday show nationally on Sports Map Radio. So please subscribe down below. You also can like this video. That helps the channel grow. And if you watch the videos every day and you don't subscribe, well, what are you waiting for? Let me know what I need to do to get you to subscribe to this channel. Thanks, as always, to everyone who watches. All right, as far as this game on Sunday, let's talk about the obvious here. Zach Wilson needs to bounce back. If he plays anywhere close to how he played against the Patriots, the Jets are going to lose, and they're going to lose badly because Denver has a very good defense, and they're at home. And obviously, their quarterback, Teddy Bridgewater, I wouldn't say he's an elite player, but he's not a bad quarterback. Like, he's not going to lose a game on his own. He is the prototypical game manager. In fact, you could call him a bridge quarterback, which is ironic given the fact that his last name, as we all know, is Bridgewater. But I like Teddy Bridgewater. I like how he's played. I like what Denver has done with their offense so far. This is a good football team that is off to a really nice start with wins over the New York Giants in week 1 and then a win over Jacksonville last week in week 2. For the Jets to have a chance in this game, I think it all starts with the approach they take offensively with Zach Wilson. We know Zach Wilson last week was awful against the Pats, right? He threw 4 interceptions. I think for the Jets to have a chance in this game, what they do with Zach Wilson really early on, right? Like first quarter opening drive I'm talking about to set the tone. I think that's really important, and him shaking off that performance from last week. So here's what I think the Jets need to do. They need to get them into a rhythm early. Now, how do you do that against a really good defense? The short passing game for the Jets has to be a major point of emphasis this week. Use Elijah Moore and hopefully Jamison Crowder, because it looks like he should be back by Sunday. Use those guys in the underneath game, screen game, in the slot. Find ways to get them the football early and get Zach Wilson comfortable by getting him some completions early. It's like a baseball player that's in a slump. Sometimes they just need that one hit to kind of open things back up and gain that confidence. I think a quarterback, you can make a similar analogy here, especially with a rookie quarterback going into his 3rd game in the NFL. So I think the short passing game should be an emphasis. Make sure, and I'm sure the Jets are doing this, because Robert Saleh even said right after the game, it's okay to be boring. That's the big thing. It's okay to be boring. It's okay to go 3 and out. It's okay to punt. What the Jets can't do is turn the ball over. Wilson cannot throw interceptions because then that maybe messes with his confidence. Maybe it starts to spiral in his mind. Oh boy, here we go again. So I just think getting him off to a nice start with short completions, right? Running the football well. That goes without saying. I think that's how you kind of set the tone and allow this kid to shake it off. I'm not worried. I think he has the intestinal fortitude to shake off that performance from last week. He is a kid that works hard, studies. I think he'll be prepared. I'm not worried about the altitude in Denver either because Zach Wilson played at BYU, so he's used to playing in that type of altitude, obviously in Provo, Utah. So I just think it comes down to the short passing game, finding his rhythm early, and then specifically I mentioned the running game. The running game for the Jets was a big strength in this game against the Patriots. Now, you wouldn't know it if you didn't watch the game because you see, Pats won 25-6. Wilson threw 4 picks. The Jets must have just been terrible. And that, to me, is what's so frustrating about the game. There were other areas of the Jets offense that played well. Like, I thought the Jets offensive line overall was much better against the Patriots than they were against the Panthers. I thought the running game was tremendous when they had to go to it. The Jets had it going early. Problem was, anytime they decided to throw, Wilson would turn the football over. So, I know everyone's after LaFleur, but ultimately it's on the quarterback to not turn over the ball, but it's on the Jets coaching staff to put Zach Wilson in better position. So everyone is responsible here, but ultimately, this is going to be on Zach Wilson to learn from what was a very, very poor performance last week against the Pats. So early on, Jets getting into a rhythm offensively, give us plenty of Ty Johnson, give us plenty of Michael Carter. Heck, I mentioned using Elijah Moore in the screen game. Why not do that with Michael Carter? Like, Michael Carter's got elusive speed. He's got the ability to make guys miss. We saw that last week against the Patriots. So getting those guys early involved into this offense, I think, has to be a major point of emphasis for Mike LaFleur being the play caller on Sunday. And, if they do that, I think they're going to hang around in this game. I don't think Denver's the type of offense that's going to, blow your doors out. I really like the way the Jets defense has played in the last, I would say the last 6 quarters, because I thought they were very good against the Panthers in the second half. They played well enough to come from behind and win that game because of how good Zach Wilson was, but also, they held the Panthers to just 3 points in the second half of week 1. And defensively last week, I think, that's something that's kind of maybe flying under the radar. The Jets have had a really good defense so far. By Football Outsiders metrics, by Pro Football Focus's evaluation, and just by your eye test. If you're a Jet fan, you can't be that upset with how the defense has played. The pass rush has been there at times. I'd like to see Quinnen Williams have a breakout game, but I'm not worried about Quinnen because he's coming off injury, didn't play a lot this summer in training camp, so he's working himself back into it. I think that's expected. But John Franklin Myers has played well. I think we saw Sheldon Rankins have a really good game last week against the Patriots. Obviously, I've been impressed with the corners so far. Michael Carter's looked good. I think Bryce Hall's looked pretty good. Like, there's been some positive things from this Jets defense so far, especially CJ Mosley. Looks like he never was gone. He looks like the same old player that was a Pro Bowl linebacker with the Baltimore Ravens and 3 quarters for the Jets in 2019. So I think the Jets defense will keep them in this football game. The key is going to be, can they make sure they hold Denver to field goals? Right? If Teddy Bridgewater's going to nickel and dime you down the field, checking it down, dump offs, that's okay. But keep them out of the end zone. Keep them out of the end zone. Give yourself a chance for this young kid, this young rookie quarterback, to get comfortable in the game, and then he'll make plays. Because we saw when he got comfortable against the Panthers in the second half, Wilson made some tremendous throws. So anyone that's giving up on Zach through 2 games of football, I mean, come on. So just give him a chance. Give him a chance to shake this one off. I think the Jets defense has to continue to play well for them to have a chance. That's not, any groundbreaking analysis. That's just a fact. And I think if the Jets could get Wilson comfortable early, I think he'll bounce back. Run the football, use Moore and Crowder in the underneath game, the screen game, short passes, mix in play action. Obviously, the protection has to be very good. And if the Jets do that, I think they could stay competitive in this football game. I won't pick them to win, but I'll tell you what, 10.5, 11, that seems high. I think the Jets can make this a real game in the fourth quarter. And if you do that and you see progress, you want to win as many games as possible, but you have to put things in proper perspective. So let's see how it plays out. But on Wednesday, that's kind of where I'm at right now. I do expect a bounce-back performance from Zach Wilson. I think the game plan has to be a lot better than it was last week. And ultimately, Zach Wilson's got to take accountability, which he did for those turnovers, and learn from them, and then put forth a really good performance on Sunday, or at least a performance we could point to and say, much better, nice job taking care of the ball, gave the Jets a chance to compete in this game. And if that happens, I don't know if you could be that upset if you're a fan of the Jets, given the situation this team is in, rebuilding, coming off a 2-win season from a year ago. With that being said, let's open it up to some questions, comments, anything else that's on your mind here as we talk Jets football on a Wednesday afternoon. Let's see what we got here. Budster writes in, if he doesn't pan out long-term, wait on his younger brother. That's right. There is another Wilson that's coming along, but I'm not worried about that, Budster. I still think Zach Wilson's the guy, and we just need to be patient. I know no one wants to hear that, but you got to give a rookie quarterback more than 2 games. All right. Boycott Activision. I don't care about Zach with his inexperience and athleticism has potential. His wide receivers, on the other hand, I don't really understand the comment there, boycott, so I'm going to move on from that. I think the Jets do have wide receiver talent. I think it's on them to get them in the mix and get them involved. This one's from the Art of Pimpin'. I honestly think Joe Douglas trades Marcus May before the trade deadline. It's certainly possible. I guess it will depend on the Jets' record at the trade deadline. It also will depend on if a contending team, needs a safety. And do they view Marcus May as that answer? He's obviously a free agent at the end of the year. Wouldn't be shocked if that were to happen, but we're not at that point just yet. R. Salai writes in, some of those interceptions by Wilson, you could pin on the receivers giving up early on their routes. Yeah, if you look at the film, the All-22 film breakdown, and I've seen some clips posted by people who cover this way closer than I do, obviously, interceptions are not always on the quarterback. I would say Wilson is responsible for at least 3 of them. Corey Davis, I felt, should have caught the second one. Tough play, but he's a number 1 wide receiver for a reason. So, look, interceptions, ultimately, you give most of the blame to the quarterback, but sure, I mean, the Jets play calling, and I think the Jets receivers need to also help Zach Wilson out when they can. I think all that's fair. By the way, that Darnold looks, if they trade May, he'll become a Pro Bowler. Take it easy on Sam Darnold so far. I'm rooting for him, but we're 2 games in, man. We just got to be patient. We got to see how it plays out. I'll be watching Sam in person tomorrow night. I'm rooting for Sam. I want him to play great tomorrow, but I just think we got to be patient here. Sam Darnold's in his 4th year. He's got Christian McCaffrey, Robbie Anderson. He's got so many really good players around him. He's got a great OC. We all believe in Joe Brady. It's a much better situation than what Zach Wilson has currently. So it's not surprising Darnold's look good. Let's see how it plays out. I think Sam will be a good quarterback. I think Zach Wilson has a chance to be a great quarterback. Jets are betting on the upside of Zach, and plus the contract situation with Sam. There was no way the Jets could justify keeping him. So I hate to revisit this storyline, but you knew Jets 0-2. Wilson has a bad game. Sam's 2-0 with the Panthers. Oh my goodness. So keep that in mind. But look, I'm rooting for Sam. So believe me, I want to see. I want to see Sam play well because I feel terrible that his 2 coaches in the NFL were Todd Bowles and Adam Gase. So believe me, I'm rooting for Sam. But let's take it easy. Salman writes in, have you seen the viral TikTok clip of the Jets? Yes, if you missed it, there's a clip of a 12-year-old breaking down just how pathetic one of the interceptions were by Zach Wilson. Not just because Wilson threw the pick, but because if you see in this clip, the entire offensive line is getting beat. There's pressure in Zach Wilson's face. Like one O-lineman on the Jets is blocking another O-lineman. None of the receivers are open. So, yeah, you could see why Wilson threw that interception, and a 12-year-old on TikTok roasted the Jets. And to that I say, facts, no doubt. Solomon, you also wrote in Chubb is injured. I should have mentioned that in my monologue at the top of the program here. Nick Chubb is out. So that is a break for the Jets offensive line and for Zach Wilson not having to deal with Bradley Chubb. Did I say Nick Chubb? I think I just said Nick Chubb. Not having to deal with Bradley Chubb in this game on Sunday. Drew writes in, I'm actually terrified for Sunday. The Broncos defense is filthy. Trevor Lawrence threw 40 yards and 2 interceptions after the first drive against him. I also think Jacksonville's a way worse team, Drew. I watched the Jaguars up close when they played the Texans here at NRG in week 1. So, yes, I think Denver's got a very good defense, but I also think the Jets should find a way to still be competitive, compete with them. Carolina's got a very good defense as well, and we saw what Zach Wilson did in that second half. So, look, it's not going to be easy for the Jets to win this game. I'm laying out the reason why I think they could be competitive in this game. If Wilson turns the ball over, they don't have a chance. There's no doubt. Mr. Nice Guy goes, I still got faith in him. Yeah, no doubt. I think you should still have faith in Zach Wilson. We're 2 games in, and one of them he played well. So let's take it easy here. Christopher, when will we trade Mims and Crowder for another guard? That's not going to happen just yet. I think they could trade Denzel Mims, but I don't think that's going to happen just yet. How long until they trade Denzel Mims to Carolina for him to begin his Pro Bowl career? I don't say that's happening, but I'm telling you, Denzel Mims, I think, should be playing. We've talked about it ad nauseum. It's not happening. Any chance in Mims? I don't think Mims plays. If Crowder's back, who are they playing? Who are they putting Mims in for? I think the Jets have told you all you need to know about so far, what they think of Mims. I disagree with it. I think Mims is a player that deserves playing time. They don't. It's as simple as that. A decade of bad teams. It's hard to stay patient, not going to lie. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I think every Jet fan should be frustrated, pissed off. It's been 10 years without the playoffs. So when I say patience, like I reluctantly have to say that because like if I don't show patience, what am I going to do? Get on this YouTube channel every day and just scream how bad the Jets are? I did that last year because they had nothing. They had a terrible head coach and a terrible roster. So we needed to flush out the bad to hopefully rebuild it back up. And I believe in Joe Douglas's, vision as a GM. I love the draft capital the Jets have. I like Robert Saleh as a head coach, and I like the quarterback. So we got to be patient for this year and see progress. But being patient long term, no Jet fan wants to be patient. Yeah, most people have not seen the Jets win a Super Bowl that they've been alive for, right? And obviously, it's been 10 years since we saw the Jets in the playoffs. So we need to be patient. But it doesn't mean you can't be frustrated while still being patient. No doubt about that. Let's see here. We're getting roasted by 12-year-old TikTokers now. Well, at least our punt team is good. Yeah, the punt team is very good. So you got Thomas Morstead now punting. You got Matt Amendola is the backup punter who was great week 1. So yeah, I mean we got that going for us. Also, the Jets defense is pretty good too so far. So I know it's been overshadowed, but it doesn't really matter. Let's see here. PCR writes in. I hate to say this, but as a Jet fan who lives in Buffalo and has witnessed Josh Allen become a good quarterback over a couple of years, if we start maybe if we start freaking out about Zach, he'll turn out okay. Yeah, I mean, PCR, if you're in Buffalo, you know this firsthand from Bills fans. Josh Allen was not overly impressive through 2 years in the NFL. I went to the playoff game against the Texans here in Houston, where Josh Allen was horrendous in the second half of that wild card game, and the Texans ended up coming back and winning only because of how bad, really, Allen was in the second half. He was a turnover machine. So you got to be patient with young quarterbacks. Not everyone's going to be Zach Allen, Josh Allen, excuse me. Like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you, well, you got to wait 3 years now for a quarterback because in that third year, they might turn into Josh Allen. No, I think we'll know before then if Zach Wilson's any good. But I love the ceiling and the potential for Zach, so you just got to be patient. I'm not saying you give Zach Wilson 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, but we got to give him more than 2 games. I think that's fair. Got to give him more than 2 games when one of the games he played very well. What else do we have here? This is in relation to Mims. I don't really care if Mims doesn't fit the scheme. Figure it out. Couldn't agree more. I think coaches adapt to the players they have, and you worry about, coaching to the players' talent that you have on the team and not what your scheme is. So there's no doubt about that. Why not a better tight end for Zach? He needs a security blanket. VR, I agree, but I don't think you could just fill every need in one offseason, and that's the reality for the Jets, right? They had too many holes. They addressed wide receiver. That's why I stress the intermediate and short passing game for this week. They have guys they could use in the slot that could fill a role a tight end might play. So I think that's something the Jets definitely need to look into here. Not Jets related. What should we expect from that rookie quarterback for the Texans? Guys, I'm going to tell you, I would put a lot of money. Now, I don't want to say that because I got to be responsible on the show, but I would bet on the Panthers big time tomorrow night. If you're watching this on Thursday later tonight, because I don't think Davis Mills is any good. He's in a tough spot. He's got 3 days to prepare for a really good Panthers team that every Jet fan watching this video saw how impressive they've been so far through the first 2 games of the year. So I just think it's a real tough spot for Davis Mills. He was drafted as a 3rd-round developmental quarterback. He did not look great in the preseason. So now he's being flusted in there. 3rd game of the year, short week. I think it's going to be tough. I bet the game already, Carolina -7. I see the lines already up to 8.5. So if you're listening to the sound of my voice right now, bet the Panthers because I think that line's going to keep moving, and you'll get a worse number if you wait till right before the game. So I think the Texans are in for a lot of trouble tomorrow night. Not because they don't play hard, not because they haven't been well coached so far. They've been impressive, the Texans, given the expectations. But Davis Mills starting, yeah, I don't see how the Jets can go out there. I don't see how the Texans can go out there at home, even on a short week for the road team having to travel and win that game. I'm about to get an MC2 jersey from Parts Unknown. Love this day. That's one positive, man. Everyone's talking about how bad the cornerback position is going to be for the Jets, and it's only 2 games, but so far they've held up. They've been pretty good. They've only had one brutal communication breakdown, and that was week 1 against the Panthers with the Robbie Anderson touchdown. And they already released the guy that was responsible for the blown coverage. So I think we just got to be patient about where we're at right now with the offense and Wilson, but so far so good. I think you can feel pretty good about how the Jets defense has been coached up by Jeff Ulbrich, the DC, and obviously Robert Saleh, who made his bread and butter being a really good defensive coordinator with the San Francisco 49ers. We'll take a couple more here, guys. Salmon Jets. Have we hyped up Elijah Moore too much? I don't think so. I think Elijah Moore's going to be a really good player. We're 2 games in. He's made some plays. Should have had a huge catch in week 1. He dropped it. I thought Elijah Moore was pretty good against the Patriots last week. Offense as a whole, it's tough to do a lot when your quarterback throws 4 interceptions. So, let's take it easy here. I think Elijah Moore is going to be a really good player And I think we haven't hyped him up too much. I think Elijah Moore's going to go out there and be really productive. Can we get this man some likes? My God, PCR, I appreciate you watching the show. Yeah, like this video. Just click that thumbs up, and it helps grow the channel. Thanks so much to all of you who watch each and every day. Credible commentator. Elijah should have had a touchdown last week. I think you can make that point. Even on the long completion that Zach made to Moore, Moore was open a lot. It took Zach a split second, maybe too late, to get that football out and realize how open he was. He puts that ball in stride. Elijah Moore might be running to the house at MetLife Stadium, so there's no doubt about that. Richard writes in, not worried about Zach long-term, but if he has early turnovers against Denver, do you think he gets pulled from the game? I would be very surprised, Richard, if that were to happen. The Jets don't have a veteran backup. And this is where you could say, hey, they should have a veteran backup. In case Zach Wilson is seeing ghosts like Sam Darnold did, you could put in a different quarterback just to spell him, give him a break, and let him clear his mind. They don't have that on the roster, so I don't think that would happen. Let's hope it doesn't happen as far as the turnovers. But if it does happen again, I think they're going to ride it out with Zach Wilson. Michael Carter should get more snaps. He's the real deal. Big E, I think both Michael Carters should get more snaps. Michael Carter, the corner, has played well. Obviously, Michael Carter, the running back, has played very well as well. Dark Soldier writes in, I hope Zach's groin injury isn't too bad. Yeah, I didn't even really mention that. He's fully practicing today, the Jets have said. Robert Saleh said he's not concerned. They called it a minor groin thing. I don't think it's anything that's substantial. If it was, he wouldn't be out there practicing, on a Wednesday practice, which is, install day at, at the Jets training facility, getting set for Denver on Sunday. Credible commentator, get Dem likes. I'm trying, man. All I need you guys to do is like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment your thoughts afterwards. Let me know your thoughts. What do the Jets need to do to win this game on Sunday? What should the offensive approach be from Mike LaFleur and Robert Saleh to get Zach Wilson back on track? Let me know your thoughts down below. My name is Jake Asman. This has been the Jake Asman Show. I am off to work. I got a 4-hour radio show to go host on ESPN Houston. If you're in the Houston area, 97.5 is where you can listen to me on local radio down here. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Have a good Wednesday. Back with another video tomorrow and Friday.